Good morning, Piyush.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, good. Haven't seen you in Goa lately.
I just came to Mumbai on Friday.
Okay.
I'll be back in Goa on Friday.
So let's catch up soon.
Yeah, we will. We will definitely.
We would have loved to do this on the beach of Goa, but
I know. And I would have had to look after Shiv Kumar so that he doesn't get bitten by dogs.
That was a terrible one.
oh God.
That was a very bad. But Goa has this issue of stray dogs.
Yeah.
I'm scared to get out of my apartment. It's in Candolim, and there's a pack of dogs there.
Yes.
So just even to get to the beach,
Quite terrible.
it's
It
scary.
is scary. Yeah. But there are some crazy NGOs who've gone and got some, verdicts from the courts. It's just.
So we will start in 2 minutes. We
Sure.
have we had about 20,000 people registered for this program. And I
Wow.
think we have about 10,000 right now on the platform and maybe around 3,000 on the social media platform. So we are talking to a large audience this time, unlike the physical SYMPs, which we used to do.
Yeah.
So it's a great experience, I think, for all of us. We are holding this for the first time and very encouraged by the response. So, Smita?
You've got some
Correct,
great
sir.
speakers too.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks to all of you. So, Smita, why don't you just start the session, please?
Sure. Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back to the second session of the SYMP. For this session, we have with us Mr. Piyush Pandey, Chief Creative Officer Worldwide and Executive Chairman India Ogilvy as the speaker, and Mr. Srinivas Dempo, Vice President AIMA and Chairman Dempo Group of Companies as the session chair. Please note that you can pose questions to the speakers during the session by sharing them on the Q&A chat box on your screens. Before I hand over the session to Mr. Dempo, request him to take it forward. It's my honor to say a few words about him. Mr. Srinivas Dempo is chairman of the Goa-based Dempo Group of Companies, which has diversified interests in industries such as calcined petroleum coke, shipbuilding, food processing, real estate, and newspaper publishing. He has been chairman of the Western region of CII. In 2013, Mr. Dempo was named honorary vice consul of Italy in Goa. He was appointed chairman, independent director of Automobile Corporation of Goa Limited, a Tata Group company. Mr. Dempo has a long association with football, having patronized a premium football club. Mr. Dempo is on the Executive Council of Goa University, besides being associated with a number of non-governmental organizations performing human service to society, such as the Charles Correa Foundation, as also the Goa Cancer Society, whose president he is. He continues his multi-generational engagement with Goan society under the Dempo Charities Trust and Vasantrao Dempo Education and Research Foundation. Mr. Dempo was honored in the year 2014 with the Asia Pacific Outstanding Entrepreneurship Award. In 2020, he received the Tepper Achievement Award in recognition of his influential roles as chairman and managing director of the Dempo Group and in professional association and civic organization in India. Mr. Dempo is also the vice president of AIMA. With these few words, I now have the privilege to hand over to Mr. Dempo with a request to introduce the speaker, Mr. Piyush Pandey, and also take the program forward.
Thank you. Thanks for that very kind introduction. And let me start by welcoming all the young minds who have joined us today. Rekha tells me that there are more than 10,000 people who more than 20,000 who registered, and now more than 10,000, almost 13 to 14,000 who are online, who are wanting to listen to a man who we have immense respect and admiration for. I'm talking about Piyush Pandey, who is the Chief Creative Officer Worldwide and Executive Chairman Ogilvy and Mather, which is one of the most powerful and the most biggest advertising firms of the world. Piyush, a warm welcome to you. And it's been great knowing you all over these years. Particularly whenever you've been in Goa, I've been privileged to listen to you on many occasions, and I have deep respect and admiration for you.
Good morning, Srinivas. It's a pleasure to see you on screen. And let me tell you, it's not once in a while in Goa. Last 1.5 years, I have been stationed in your state. and I thank you for it.
We need people like you in Goa. But Piyush, you know that this has been a very special edition of the Shaping of Young Minds. As Rekha, you and I have been discussing, this program was possible only because of the digital advances in technology, and also that COVID happened to us. We would have loved to hold this program on the beaches of Goa, and you would have been more than kind to come here and speak to us. But this is how the world is today. But the rosy picture is that we have more than 10,000 attending and wanting to listen to you. On behalf of AIMA, let me thank you because I know, because Rekha has told me, Rekha, who is the backbone of AIMA, and we are relatively new, but she has been here for years, that you've always accommodated AIMA despite your grueling demand on time. So thanks once again for that.
Thank you, Srinivas.
It's also a privilege to introduce you, though you need no introduction. And I read somewhere that, Amitabh once said, Amitabh Bachchan, who is the icon of Bollywood, that his personal experiences dealing with a vibrant mind like yours has been full of education and enlightenment. So that speaks volumes of you. And what I like about you, Piyush, is you are still very down to earth, you are still grounded, and you are still alive and kicking. Because I find the new generation today, some of us get burnt out very fast. We think we've worked too hard, and we lay our table down very, very soon, and then we think of relaxing. I thought the book that you wrote, Pandeynomics, would make you strap your boots and then take it easy. But you are going places, and India is so proud of you. You won more than 1,000 awards, and you've got the highest recognition in the form of Padma Shri. I remember you in 2016 in Goa, when you did the TEDx talk, and I was there at the Bits Pilani, where you told the young minds that about storytelling and how powerful storytelling could be an effective communication tool. And I liked the way you started. You said, if you give me facts, I will believe it. If you give me facts, I will learn it. If you give me truth, I will believe it. But if you give me a story, I'll always remember it. And I think, all your iconic campaigns, whether it's Colgate, it's Fevicol, it's many others, it's been path-breaking campaigns like Ab Ki Baar Modi Sarkar, it's been Achhe Din. I mean, you've always faced, you've always projected the creative side of it. So I would term you as one of the most creative minds of India. I will, once again, there's a lot to talk about you, but I think we have some time constraints and people have come to listen to you mainly. And maybe time permitting, we'll have a few inquisitive questions from the young minds. And, also again, what I would at least like to listen from you is how do you view digital technology in the space of advertising? And how do you keep creativity alive when things like augmented reality, virtual reality, stuff like this is coming? So this would be a broad question from my side, but welcome once again. I'll leave the floor to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Srinivas. Those are very kind words and motivating for me. Let me answer one of your questions straight up on technology. I believe that technology is a great enabler, and but you'll have to have ideas. If you look at the word augmented reality, the key word is reality. Technology helps you augment it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what we all have to remember. I also wanted to say a big welcome and good morning to the ladies and gentlemen who have made time to attend this session. And I just want to share with them that I am not here to shape young minds. I only have food for thought, which may be of use to you as you shape your own mind. Because end of the day, I'm here also to shape my mind from you. When Srinivas said that, how do you keep going? Well, I work within my own company with 1,000 people, and their average age would be about 40. I'm the one who spoils it. But I keep learning, and that's why I keep going. So I'm here to learn as much as you might find interesting in my experiences. And as Sunil Munjal also said earlier, that learn from those around you. And that's a key word that keeps me going. And there's so much to talk about, but I will try and confine myself today to 5 or 6 things which I think are important to all of us and, of course, to you as younger people. And number one is always chase your passion. There will be a number of opportunities. The world is changing. Always chase your passion, because the world will be telling you a whole lot of things that you should be doing this. That is the most wonderful thing to do. I read those after the recruitment at IIMs. The headlines say, X offered 60 lakhs to a new recruit. God damn it, don't give me 60 lakhs. You talk to me about X offered a new opportunity, a new avenue. And I think that's where your passion will come into play. Like Srinivas's interest in football and other sporting things, I draw a lot of analogy from sport. And when I talk to you about passion, and I'll come to a story later, I just want to share with you one piece of work that we recently did. It's from sport, but it's about life. So my friend on the technical board, can you run one commercial for me, please?
जो बोले अपने बाप से थोड़ी समझ उधार ले, बजरंग कहीं और हाथ पैर मार ले, उसको पलट दे। जो बोले बंदूक की गोली ना, मन्नू बेटा तू नाजुक और भोली, उसको पलट दे। जो बोले विकास और कितने मुक्के खाएगा, रे छोरे तुझसे ना हो पाएगा, उसको पलट दे। जो बोले अभी टाइम है मान जाओ, टीम बनानी है तो 11 की बनाओ, उसको पलट दे। जो बोले क्या ही कर पाएंगे, खाली हाथ वापस आएंगे, उनको पलट दे। क्योंकि तूफान वही है, क्योंकि तूफान वही है जो सब पलट दे।
So this is about chasing your passion. The world will tell you how many things you can do. And people will offer you fancy salaries as you come out. It all equalizes if you are enjoying the journey. And you'll always enjoy the journey only if you're passionate. Just to give you my own background a little bit, I was a history student. I did my master's from St. Stephen's College, Delhi University. I was in the top 10. So the obvious thing for my parents to say is, IAS, and because everyone from St. Stephen's got into IAS in those days. And as a top 10, they had big hopes. And I said, sorry, but I don't want to go into the IAS. I want to be in the private world. I want to still play a little more cricket, which I was playing. I was playing Ranji Trophy that time. And they said, are you mad? You know how, then they tried the emotional card on me. They said, you know how good we'll feel when you're the collector and you drive in your Lal Batti Gadi and everyone salutes you. So I was caught on the back foot on that one as to how to handle them emotionally. And I said, okay, I agree with you. But imagine, after 5 minutes, one MLA's car comes and I'll get up and salute that funny guy. Would you like it? They said, you are, beyond any understanding, so do what you feel like. I went to Calcutta, played some cricket, was a tea taster. Then I met some people from advertising, and I suddenly found a focus that I want to get into advertising. And I left my cushy job in Calcutta and came at 50% of my salary to Mumbai, where it was practiced the best, and started life all over again. So the lesson out here is you might take up your first job, but if it's not your passion can change. You can change your job, but don't lose your passion. There's so many stories. I showed you the sporting example, but that's the story of everyone's life, because the world wants you to go with the herd and the tried and tested method. But I think you are built for a lot more things. A lot of you are in business schools, and I always talk to business students and share one thing. I said, everyone in your class around the country reads the same books. But those of you who read between the lines will make it. It's important to know the game, but it's important to go beyond the game and be a game changer. So whatever gives you the kicks, people say, okay, I will join technology company X because it's paying me so much. I say, okay, that technology company is also under pressure on carbon footprint. Why don't you come from that angle? If it gives you the joy, if it gives you the kicks. The world is open. You have to live another 40 years, at least in your hardworking career. If you don't enjoy that journey, then it's not worth it. So this is number one thing I want you to take away. I'm not going to take too many points, but I've taken things which are relevant to all of us. The second thing is be agile. Don't go by what you read only. Be agile. Look at things that are changing. Address things that are changing. But don't go for overnight changes. Your search for excellence should never be stopped. Agility means that you see something and take quick actions. Then don't go back to the book and say, have I ticked 20 boxes? I've never ticked 20 boxes. And lots of people that I happen to be fortunate to work with, they didn't tick boxes. And I realized that that's the best way. I'll give you some, I've chosen not to pick up the usual suspects that you might think I'll show you today. You've seen them enough. And I'll give you a story about agility. And I'll come back to talking about excellence. But let me just show you examples of agility. See two examples. The first, just show me one commercial and then stop, please. Okay. Just show me Savlon, gentleman at the technology desk. Just one commercial and stop.
आ गया अमित हॉस्पिटल से। देखो मैं कह रहा हूँ महीने भर उसके घर से दूर रहेंगे, गेट के पास भी नहीं जाएंगे और सारी खिड़कियां बंद कर देते हैं। ये तीसरा कप किसके लिए?
अमित के लिए।
क्या?
उसे अकेले रहने के लिए कहा है, अकेला छोड़ने के लिए नहीं ना।
हम दूर रहकर भी अपनापन दिखा सकते हैं। ब्रूपॉन रेड लेबल, स्वाद अपनेपन।
There's one more here. Can you show it, please? One more commercial, which I had forgotten to tell you about. Yeah.
हाय, मैं स्वप्ना। बचपन से मुझे पेंटिंग करना बहुत अच्छा लगता था। मेरी पेंटिंग्स को देखकर लोग मेरी हमेशा तारीफ करते हैं। बोलते हैं मेरा टैलेंट और मैं बहुत स्पेशल हैं। शायद आप में से कई लोगों से मैं बेटर पेंटर हूँ, पर उसके अलावा मैं बिल्कुल आप जैसी हूँ। मेरी सुबह भी शुरू होती है अलार्म क्लॉक के चिल्लाने से। आप जैसे ही मैं भी उठ के वापस थोड़ी देर सो जाती हूँ। चाय और अखबार के बिना मेरा दिन भी शुरू नहीं होता। दोस्तों से बातें करती हूँ, घर वालों से मैं भी रिमोट छुपाती हूँ। मुझे भी तैयार होने में थोड़ा वक्त लगता है। मैं भी खुद को पार्ट टाइम गार्डनर मानती हूँ। ऑनलाइन रहने की आदत आजकल मुझे भी लग गई है। और उन्नी अपम को आपके जैसे मैं भी कभी ना नहीं कह सकती। हाँ, पर एक बात है जो शायद आप में से बहुत लोग नहीं करते, पर मैं हमेशा करती हूँ। मैं हैंड वॉश इस्तेमाल करना नहीं भूलती। 20 सेकेंड हैंड वॉश करने से यू स्टे प्रोटेक्टेड फ्रॉम जर्म्स एंड डिजीजेस, कोरोना वायरस जैसे वायरस से भी। और मेरे लिए हैंड वॉश इस्तेमाल करना इतना इजी है, तो फिर आप क्यों नहीं करते हैंड वॉश?
Yeah. So I look at these. These were at these difficult times that the world is facing. But you have to do it with excellence. You have to do it with agility. You have to do it with excellence. We did not scrounge on the making. We did not scrounge on the time that the long commercial of Savlon is. We said, everyone can say, ah, doiye, aise doiye, waise doiye. Can we make an impact while communicating a simple proposition? That's where storytelling comes into play, where a single statement will not give you what a story is. Now, my examples are all advertising, but I want you to read them about life, because my examples will be from advertising. That's my profession. But each one of them has a lesson about life, that there is something required, you must do it. Idea is not to just do it, idea is to do it well. And here again, Srinivas, I go back to your question on technology. Now, a lot of talk happens around the world about digital. And I will often share it with people that digital, like your books in IIMs, is available to everybody. Now, do you want to join the herd or do you want to stand out on digital? If you don't stand out on any media, you will be one amongst 100. Why will people be able to remember you? That's where excellence comes into play. That's where using technology to communicate impactfully by engaging people. Now that can apply to marketing also. When you're selling some goods, how much do you engage them? How much do they remember you? And how much goodwill do they carry for you? We talked about Fevicol earlier. Now, people like Srinivas and Ratan Tata, who have never physically, or myself, never personally in my home used Fevicol by myself. But we are all goodwill carriers. If Mr. Tata or Srinivas mentioned Fevicol somewhere, it goes to a lot of people who might be users. So you got to look at the larger picture. And I said to you about agility, and I'm reminding myself back to 1997, when I was doing a campaign, a very popular campaign on Mirawala Blue, Mirawala Green for Asian Paints. Mera Wala Cream, all those things. And that's when the World Cup 1997 happened in India. And I did an ad for them, for Asian Paints, but with a different take. So can you show me the first slide, please? No, not this. Go back to the Asian Paints, first one. Yeah. This one says, Hamara Wala Blue. And we had the India t-shirt, which now goes to excellence. I didn't have the proper India t-shirt, so we made arrangements and got it from Ajay Jadeja who's playing. Borrowed it for a night and shot it. And as things would happen, this was very well received. Next day, India lost to Sri Lanka. And overnight, I did some stuff with this and released the next ad. Show me the next slide, please. I cancelled out the Hamara and put Tumhara Wala Blue, changed the shirt, and just says at the bottom, congratulations, Sri Lanka, you were a shade better, Asian Paints. So that's agility. That's when people say, oh, hello, I never thought they're going to talk like this. That is a sense of surprise, and surprise engages. And done properly, finished properly, released the next morning. Even my client saw the ad for the first time in the newspaper, because I told him on the phone, I'm doing this. He said, go ahead. Seldom happens that a client doesn't see an ad before it's released. And the third time with the same client, it happened. It was, we used to do celebratory ads for every festival. And a very talented colleague of mine had done one for Janmashtami. When I walked in and I saw the ad, it said, Mera Wala Blue, and it had Krishna. Can you put the third slide, please? So I just walked in, cut out the Mera and made it Mera Wala Blue. Suddenly you're touching hearts. And that's agility. So whatever you're doing, do it well. Be very smart. Don't bank on past laurels. Tomorrow is another day. Are you ready for it? That's agility. And the next point I want to make is, it's a restless world today. Everyone says, Acha, ye kar loon, wo kar loon. People stay for 2 years. Then they go to something else. Then they go to something else. And my thing is, be patient. Be patient till you know that, did you give yourself enough of a chance to excel at something? If you reach that point and say, nahi yaar, yahan pe scene nahi hai, then move on. But give yourself that chance. Were you running a 100-meter race and gave it up at 50 meters? Or you run the 100-meter race and then decide, no, I'm not meant for 100 meters. I'll do long jump. Whatever. But give yourself a chance. Patience is so important. Some fantastic ads that we did, Srinivas, it took 1 year's time of thinking, developing with the client, a patient team, and magic comes out of patience. I'm going to show you 2 and then talk about these 2 once again. So play 2 for me, please.
Kids love to use their hands. Kids explore the world with their hands. India, they use their hands for one more thing: eating food. Not washing their hands with soap is one of the main causes for illnesses and dropouts.
साबुन वापरतात का? नहीं कोई आदत नहीं होती, घर में भी माँ बाप को नहीं सिखाते, इसलिए सब बच्चे ये नहीं सीख सकते.
So, we gave shape to a simple idea. We infused chalk sticks with soap. Introducing Savlon Healthy Hands Chalk Sticks. These worked just like regular chalk sticks. But at lunch break, they did more than just writing. The chalk powder turned into soap on its own. These chalk sticks have been introduced in schools across the country. India's #1 Hindi news channel featured the story along with others. This simple innovation also got featured all over the country in over 70 newspapers. It generated a reach of 4.3 million on Twitter and 3.2 million on Facebook in just 4 days. This led to a huge demand for the chalk sticks from schools and NGOs. Its food-grade safety certification got us our biggest prize. Akshaya Patra, the world's largest provider of midday meals in schools, reaching more than 1 million children every day, approached us for these special chalk sticks. We are now working hand in hand with schools and NGOs to provide these chalk sticks for free. Kids' health will now be in good hands, their own.
India is home to more than 6 crore small businesses, and they've been fighting for survival after the coronavirus outbreak and the lockdowns.
Presenting not just a Cadbury ad. We advertised not just for ourselves, but for thousands of small businesses across India. The idea was innovative, but the technology and execution was challenging. Most of the stores in India don't have a digital presence, so we had to manually feed our system to create a database of local retailers, mapping them to their location, which we identified through PIN codes. As the ad was served to an individual, an algorithm located the PIN code and then mapped the various local stores in that PIN code and served the one closest to the individual in real time. The AI-enabled system created thousands of permutations for the localized version of the same ad, so many that it is even impossible to track. This resulted in the first ever hyper-personalized ad ever, one that ensured every single person that saw the ad supported a local store. The campaign was truly appreciated across India as it was picked up by major influencers. The campaign was a success even on the dark social as it appeared on countless WhatsApp groups across the country. It was also covered by national and international press, and it also organically trended on Twitter. When all of us support our local stores, all of us can have a happy Diwali, not just a Cadbury ad.
Srinivas, I think this work answers your question about technology and idea. And the point I was making about patience. The Savlon chalks needed months of working with R&D and setting up a system. Not just a Cadbury's ad, is technology. Great idea, but how do I do it? So you go on to technology. And what you must also realize is that when you, going back to excellence, when you do something fantastic, when you do something engaging, you get so much of free goodwill and free publicity. Everyone carries you. You didn't pay a thing for it. So make your deeds be carried to other people through word of mouth. Whatever you're doing, you are not in advertising. You could be doing anything, but a good thing that you do always travels. So be patient, do it well. And I don't want to end my bit on a sad note, because a number of things were about problems that we have faced. So let me show you how you can be fun by chasing your passion and yet be talked about by the world and its mother. So I'll play last two examples, Srinivas, then we'll close it to the people for questions. Please, two more, please.
बेटा मेरी छड़ी उठा दोगे?
जी माँ जी।
थैंक यू। थैंक यू बेटा, अच्छा हुआ तूने कुछ नहीं किया।
मोस्ट वेलकम माँ जी।
थैंक यू।
कभी कुछ ना करके भी देखो। ईट 5 स्टार, डू नथिंग।
You can have fun without spending too much money if you have a very good idea. And good ideas come to you. To my first point is from your passion. And as I leave you to Srinivas and the questions that you raise, I just have to say to you, the world is looking forward to you to demonstrate through your passion how much more the world can learn from you. So you'll help me shape my own mind. Thank you so much for your patience. I'm open to questions, Srinivas.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Piyush. And as always, it was a real treat to listen to you. I think you tell a story so well and it touches so many hearts. And today was no different. I had a general question which came to my mind. You know, you have been a very passionate cricketer. From there, you went on to being a tea taster. I don't know whether you still love your tea, but you became a tea taster. And then you joined as an accounts executive in O&M that you currently head as the India chairman and the world creative head. What was that thing in you that made you take? Because not many people can reach this level, though you talked, and I know you rightly talked about passion, you talked about patience, you talked about excellence, and you talked about agility. And I'm sure you have all these. But beyond this, what was it that made you, you didn't go through any pulls, pressures, influences, and you just worked and you rose the topmost position. I mean, what was that clicked for you?
Srinivas, again, it goes back to sport. I think I learned a lot of teamwork from my sporting days. And I think it came to a stage, I loved being with people. I loved working with people. The work attracted more younger people because they wanted to do that kind of work. So because of them, we did better work. It came to a stage where the newspapers started writing that Ogilvy does better than anyone else because they have a battery of creative people. Now that's a great place to be in. You can be an individual star. That doesn't mean your team will win. Brian Lara could not make West Indies win despite being the best batsman in the world. So when you have a team, and I enjoyed teamwork. I enjoyed playing with the team. I enjoyed leading the team. I enjoyed being led by the team. If I was to look back 39 years, which I completed last month at Ogilvy, I think it's people who made the difference. And I think cricket gave me the experience, but from family, I came from a very large family. We were 9 children. And so teamwork was kind of inculcated in me, which became reinforced in cricket, which I started enjoying in advertising, because advertising, we don't have factories. We don't have anything else but people. So I enjoyed the game, and the game kept giving me opportunities. And again, if anyone of you, whatever you do in life, whether your team is of 5 people or 5,000 people, if you build a team, you can't lose.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that very enlightening answer. I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the participants would like to know. You know, you somewhere I heard you saying that there cannot be any glory without guts. Okay. And a lot of that guts also comes with failures, because I've seen in my own case, business decisions involve risks. Risks sometimes lead to failures, sometimes lead to successes. But I've seen youngsters, when they come and talk to me, they don't take failure very kindly. I mean, how does one deal with failure with an experience like yours? And, you know, you've handled so many situations, and you've handled so many accounts, and you've made your business grow. And I'm sure you also must have encountered a few failures in your life. How do you deal with these failures, and what would your message to these young minds be? How to deal with failure?
I'll add one more question to this. It's a question which is asked from me: don't you have a writer's block? And failures and writer's block is the same thing. I don't treat writer's block as a block. I think of it as a speed breaker. A speed breaker can slow me down. It can't stop me from driving. And failures, why ask me? Look at your own icons. Tendulkar scores nothing in 3 matches. Comes back and scores the double 100. Virat Kohli is going through a failure right now, personally, not as a team, but in England, he's going through a bad patch. But if you have belief in you, you will treat it as that you are not God. Do you know of any greatest of a sportsman, a cricketer who's hit 6 sixes in every over for 10 overs? We are all human. Unless, you see, a failure also is a learning point. You look back and say, "Acha, ye gadbad ho gayi. Next time, I will improve on this." Or next time, but I will not stop playing. I said it in COVID times. I was asked when I was working on from Goa on Zooms like this, and somebody said, "Do you feel restricted?" So I said, "My feet are tied. My hands are not tied. My heart is not tied. My mind is not tied." So, yes, you will fail sometimes, but then don't think that this is the end of the road. Like every success is not end of the road. Every failure is not end of the road. Get up. Lots of more knowledgeable people have written long before I was born about गिरते हैं शहंशाह घुड़सवार भी मैदान जंग में, तो गिरते हैं यार, फिर उठते हैं. So failure से कभी मत घबराना. I would really tell you that don't ever, and don't let a failure make you into a different person. You have to play the game again. One ball hit you on the head doesn't mean that you stop playing. So please, all of us, I mean, bigger people than us. Gandhi failed in some of his efforts. Did Gandhi stop? So I'm talking about world icons, and we are nothing. If we don't fail, we'll start thinking that we are superhuman. None of us is. Don't stop playing. That's what I would say to everyone.
We've come to almost the end of our session, but I'm tempted to ask you one more question.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's on the minds of many of these young people. You've told so many great stories. You've connected with hearts in India. You've taken the consumers a long way. And I've seen one unique thing about your ads. All your ads convey a very strong message. Despite all this, what was the thought behind writing your book, Pandemonium? What do you want to convey through the book to the young minds in India?
In a way, if you look at it through anecdotal treatment, I was saying exactly what I'm saying today to everyone. That people think that lots of, I said something, okay, this is the best example I can think of. Last week, I suddenly thought of saluting the senior citizens who made my advertising look better as actors. So on Senior Citizens Day, I did a program on Melt. If anyone watches it, the link will be there. Where I said, see, don't look at senior citizens as old. Remember, they were also young in their older days. So, so these are things in Pandemonium, I've tried to, where I had more length, I had more time. So I've been more anecdotal about these things, but I have no other story. I have only one story. I have common sense, love people, keep your eyes and ears open, and engage with people. It will work in a factory of motorcycles. It will work in advertising. It will work in a newspaper. It will work in a technology company. Why is Apple spending so much of time on looking at organizing life for the employees within the setup? Is to get all those things going together. It's got teamwork, it's got sensitivity, it has got empathy, it has got everything, and it's technology.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you, Piyush, once again for, I would only use your own words when I describe our interaction. I think every answer to the question that I asked you, you displayed excellence, agility, patience, and the passion. I think all four have come out with all your responses. So thank you once again on behalf of Rekha, myself, and all at AIMA. Let me say a big thank you to you. We really enjoyed this session and hope to see you soon in Goa.
I'm back on Friday. I'm back on Friday.
I'll get in touch with
you. And thank you so much for all your kind words, Srinivas, and to all the people who are on this program with us. I wish them safe life, healthy life. डर के मत खेलना, घर से निकलना मगर सोच समझ के.
Rekha tells me there are at least about 13,000 as of now online watching your program. So thanks once again.
Thank you,
to all the
Piyush.
young minds.
Thanks, Rekha, and thank you all.
Thank you so much, Piyush and Srini. You're both Goa based, and I hope that we'll be starting our Goa retreats very soon, and we can have you both join us at the beautiful Taj Aguada.
Very much.
We miss Goa now, but thank you for a wonderful session. I think you always bring it alive, Piyush, with your commercials, and not just the young people. I think I also look forward to that. And thanks, Srini, for moderating the session.
Thanks, Rekha.
Thanks, Srinivas. Thanks,
Thank you.
Rekha.
Thank you. Bye. See you.
All the best for the rest of the program. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thanks.